definitely Republican.
Are you?
Yes.
And you think it's important to have the CRA endorsement for your race?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And why do you think it's so important?
Well, the CRA is the conscience of the Republican Party.
And what do you think of Reardon not? And what do you think of Reardon not showing up?
Maybe he had a prior commitment. Maybe he had something scheduled before. I don't know.
Do you think this will hurt him in the long run?
It could. I don't know. I can't say.
If he's the candidate, are you going to support him?
I don't know. Probably not.
Breakfast too. You should. You know what? This next place. Okay, but don't even. Forget it. Okay.
I replayed 3 hours of hockey.
Nice to see you. I know. I've seen you a couple of times. I saw you at the.
Hi, Joe Allen.
Who's behind there? Who is that person?
It's the Winships. Who else?
How are you doing?
Good. We're just. Well, we need you. You're going to be on Monday.
What's Monday?
We'll have you on the web Monday.
Oh, how fun!
Oh, how nice.
So tell us what you think of Reardon not showing up for this meeting.
What else is new?
Well, Joe Allen, are you going to support him if he's a candidate for governor?
If he's a candidate for governor, yes. Anybody but the governor that we have now. Got to get a Republican in no matter what.
Just keep talking.
Just keep talking and now.
Would you like to sign for the festivities tonight?
Ledesma.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Fairly well.
What do you think of Reardon not showing up tonight?
Well, I was disappointed. I was actually hoping that he would at least send a representative to explain his issues. Would have been quite entertaining.
Do you think he just thinks that Orange County is going to go his way no matter what?
Well, I just think he has nothing to gain and a lot to lose by showing up. So, I don't know what he's thinking, obviously. I can't read his mind, but...
So who do you support tonight?
Well, right now I'm leaning toward Bill Simon.
Any reason particularly?
Well, I like Bill Jones, like the fact that he did, of course, win statewide election previously. However, I didn't care for some of his partisan backings. You know, backing Bill Firestone for chairman of the party, I thought was a mistake. Backing McCain, when he left people with the impression he was going to back Bush.
So you think he's a little too liberal?
I don't know if he's too liberal for the state of California, maybe a little liberal for our CRA taste, and definitely mine. So that is, of course, one of the appeals of Bill Simon is he is staunchly conservative. So hopefully he'll win the nomination.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Let's get over here and ask some. Excuse me.
Governor Jones.
Yeah, listen. Who should we talk to in the Bill Jones camp right now? Who would be his spokesperson?
Well, officially, you mean?
No, it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm hoping to run the women's leadership team for Bill Jones for California.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of Reardon not showing up?
Well, it's disappointing because I think all candidates should have a chance to be heard by those that are supporting the Republican Party, and we'd love to hear them and give them a chance to voice his opinions and have a fair debate, and at the same time give the delegates a chance to vote after they're informed. So I'm sorry that he's not here.
Well, what do you think? What do you think of when everyone says Bill can't raise any money? So is that a problem? Has that been a problem for Secretary Jones?
Well, it has been difficult. I think part of it has been the economy and also September the 11th, but it has been reaching out to those that are average donors rather than going to friends who are those that can provide a sort of a high-ticket check. So I think it's gotten a lot of support. Bill Jones has gotten a lot of support throughout the state by those at maybe the smaller end, but I think that's going to be helping him in the long run because those all equal votes.
What do you think about endorsements? Who does he have on the Republican side in the state of California that would be notable?
Well, he's got Governor George Dukmasian as his chairman of the campaign committee, and that represents that state commitment of knowing California and being a part of this state and all of its growth in the last 10 years. He also has Marion Bergeson, the former Secretary of Education for California, and she's a former state senator and county supervisor. And he's got a lot of city council members and supervisors up and down the state, so it's all local and statewide support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So Steve, who are you going to vote for? Who are you going to support tonight?
We listen to the debates.
So you really haven't made up your mind yet?
Leaning toward Bill Jones.
Is there any reason why you wouldn't support Simon or?
Well, Bill Jones came down and addressed our group, sat by the Republican Assembly, and I heard him, and he's a good man.
Hoagie Carmichael.
Hoagie Carmichael.
And when Lynn Leach gets in as superintendent of schools, she's a pistol. Have you heard her yet?
No.
Oh my gosh, she's wonderful. So I think we'll have a wonderful team for Bill Simon. I think that's where we're going. And Ellie Michaels for lieutenant governor, ladies. Ellie Michaels will be wonderful.
What happens if Reardon gets the nomination?
He's not going to get it. We're going to see to it. We're going to get every federated woman, every woman in the state to support Bill.
Do you think that's the reason why he didn't bother to show up tonight?
He will never show up anyplace. He hasn't shown up anyplace except for money.
Except for his own fundraising.
Yeah, except for money. That's it. And do we really want a Democrat in there? No, we do not. You heard that all of the people that were working for him were Republicans and Democrats. All the Republicans left, and they only have Democrats working for him. I mean, give me a break. Is that what we want? No.
We were leaning towards Reardon before all of this happened, but now we're kind of disappointed that he didn't show up. You know, that would have been
terrible. He's terrible.
Been the smart thing to do.
Oh yeah, but he hasn't shown up anywhere, anyplace. No, he was supposed to be in South County with all of these people. Didn't show. He was supposed to be at other places. Hasn't shown. So.
And he said it was late for the meeting in South County. That was the weather was the excuse why he didn't show up. And it's like it was raining, and everyone else could make it except for him.
Thanks a lot, you guys. Name and tell me who you are.
Teresa Snarls Remington, the state chairman of the Republican National Hispanic Assembly.
And how long have you been in that position?
Going about 2 years now.
And who are you supporting for governor?
Secretary of State, Mr. Bill Jones.
Any reason why you wouldn't support Reardon or Simon?
Reardon is off the radar. Okay, Bill Simon is a decent fellow, hardworking, but he lacks experience, even working on a campaign, either being it as on a campaign, I mean the candidate and or helping them with the candidate campaign trail. Bill Jones has a legacy of grassroots involvement for, 7-8 years now. He reaches out to the Latino community very well. His information is Spanish, bilingual information, television and in print, and his chief of staff, bilingual, fluent in Spanish, an asset to the SOS office. Bill Jones definitely has the Farm Belt, which is our bread and butter here in California.
Well, what would you say to the fact that Reardon is so multi-ethnic and multi-layered with his different staff that he assembled as mayor of Los Angeles?
His staff, it doesn't impress me. He hasn't really represented the Republican Party. I mean, you can hire all you want, diversity, but if they don't represent your insignia of your political party, it does nothing. You don't stand by what you are speaking on. You know, walk your talk, very black and white.
As a member of the Hispanic community, how do you think that that would go with Bill Jones against Gray Davis in a gubernatorial election?
Very well. I mean, I know that at least the Republican Party in itself has grown for the Latino community very well, again, with Bush winning. We need to improve that message with good, better messengers. And with Bill Jones as our governor, he carries the Latino community very well. Again, his track record proves that. And that proves to me he's a leader, governor of California.
One last question. If Bill doesn't make it, and Reardon is the nominee, will you support Reardon against Gray Davis?
Of course, yes I will.
Thank you very much. No, it's fine. And we're with gubernatorial candidate Bill Jones, Secretary of State of California. So Bill, what brought you to CRA tonight?
Well, the CRA is a very important organization for California and for the Republican Party. I wouldn't be anyplace else but here tonight out of respect for a great organization that's contributed so much to the party and to the state over the years. So got a lot of old friends here, served with many of them in the legislature, and look forward to a great discussion with the other candidates. So I'm very pleased to be in Orange County tonight.
So tell us what do you think about Reardon not showing up tonight?
It doesn't surprise me. He doesn't show up at any of these events, and I think that's a show of disrespect to this organization. Clearly, whether you agree with every issue or not, you come and you engage and you talk about the issues and let the people decide. But AWOL does not reflect well on Mr. Reardon, and I'm sure that the CRA would have enjoyed having him here tonight.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think he's just too old? Is it an age situation?
You know, that's for the public to decide. I'm prepared to beat him with the other candidates and debate him anytime. Hopefully we'll get that done in January and February. But for tonight, I'm happy to be here to talk to the other candidates. This isn't a debate. We're going to talk about the issues that are important to California, and that's what this is all about.
You know,
Doing the right thing for California.
You know, one of the questions I didn't ask you the last time we met was regarding the terrorist attacks and also the security for the state of California. What would you do as governor to ensure our safety?
Well, it's important to work closely with the executive branch in Washington. They have the professionals in the FBI, the Attorney General's office, the CIA. What you see just recently when the governor released this warning on the bridges on data that wasn't totally vetted and totally processed through the CIA and the FBI, you find a situation where you don't always get a clear picture. So we have to set up a process by which we either can assess all this intelligence data, which historically we're not used to reading, or we have to wait to make our decisions until the authorities in Washington process this data. But one way or the other, we have to protect the people of California, and I will do that as I have as the author of the 3 Strikes Law that reduced crime by twice over the national average. I've led the way in protecting the people of California, and I will do so again as governor.
Let me ask you one last question. Would you empower the Attorney General of the state of California to deal with immigration issues in a different way if you were governor?
Well, I think the immigration issue has taken on a totally different outlook since September 11th. The president and all the law enforcement officials are being very cautious about immigration. Now, we are all immigrants from somewhere, so we support legal immigration. But we have to be careful, again, going back to the security issue, that people in this country are protected, and that goes for also illegal aliens coming in from outside.
Secretary Jones, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joey, retired, now president of CRA. The question that you asked was, how do I look at the campaign that's going on here tonight? Well, actually, the president of the CRA is not allowed to take take a position before any endorsement by the CRA. So I try to stay out of it as much as I can, stay neutral. I try to give all the candidates the same shot. That's why they're all sitting with me at the head table. And I think, you know, there's going to be some spirited debate tonight. It's going to be fun. But we're going to walk out of here, friends, tomorrow afternoon. One of them will have the endorsement of CRA. And we just hope that the one that emerges here comes out of the pack and separates from the pack and goes on to be the nominee.
One last question. Were you miffed by the fact that Mayor Reardon didn't show up?
Well, we sent Mayor Reardon several invitations to show up. We were surprised that he didn't respond, and so then we were surprised to see in the Orange County Register that he wanted very badly to debate the candidate. So we sent him that newspaper article and another invitation, and we have not heard from the mayor yet. So, you know, maybe he feels he doesn't have to get in the mix. I don't know.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
President of the CRA.
My pleasure.
What is the subject we're going to be working on?
Well, Buck, this is Buck Johns, who's one of the top fundraisers in the state of California, especially here in Orange County. Member of the Lincoln Club. Buck, and are you happy to be here tonight?
I'm delighted to be here. I think it'll be an exciting evening. I'm disappointed that Reardon's not going to make it. I think it elevated the game a little bit. But it should be a delightful evening. Very proud to be here.
Did you already have a dog in this race before?
You know, I do, as a matter of fact. I've been a friend of Bill Jones for a very long time. And so I have decided to support Bill for the campaign. And that I'm looking for a spirited campaign. We saw the question with Dan Lundgren last time, where the other side had all of the action. All the action's on our side this time, and whoever wins, and I'm delighted to see Reardon in the race, because whoever comes out will be credible.
Thank you very much, Buck John.
Thanks for being here. Thank you.
Great night. We're going to find out a lot about your candidates. Outstanding candidates across the board running. Have a good night.
They know about you.
Thank you, Senator. I want to thank all of you for coming tonight, standing with all the crowd. As we are promoting this event of the debate of the government candidates, our moderator will draw them.
First debate, even though some dodged it, the first debate for the Republican primary nomination of the governor's race in 2002. We have a format here that we hope everybody will find rather interesting. I'm going to read through it briefly. Each candidate will be given 7 to 10 minutes to give a brief introduction, and then we will begin our questioning. We will also provide 1 minute at the end of the debate for closing remarks.
Republican. Let me ask that question again. Isn't it great to be a conservative Republican? It is not a matter of strategy, which some will tell you that if you're the perceived leader as he thinks he isn't, but he thinks he is, that he can ignore the Republican primary. Let me tell you what that is. That's disrespectful of this organization and party together. I intend to be the nominee. I will be the nominee. And when I am the nominee, we will go on to beat Gray Davis. This can be done. And for those that believe just recently, as some 9 months ago, that Davis could not be beaten, I'm 2 points ahead of him tonight. I'm going to beat him. And with your help, we will make sure the Republican Party has a great year next year. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
you, sir?
30 seconds.
Yeah, we just need to, we're going to have this on the web on Tuesday.
Okay. How are you doing?
Just fine. I'll try to not get so much light on your face here. So how did you think your performance went tonight?
Oh, I think that we all talk about the issues, and I think the issues are there to be debated. And, I think Bill Jones and Nick did a good job, and I think I did a good job. And this is what we got to do. You got to get the candidates out talking about the issues.
So are you willing to outspend all of your opponents in this race?
I tell you, we're going to put on a very credible race. There's no question about that. We've already put on a credible race. These last 9 months, we've run an outstanding campaign thanks to some of the people we have with us, like Jake Mangus and Ron Walters and Brent Louder, and so many other people. Bob Taylor. I mean, who is better than Bob Taylor? Really?
Well, let me ask you one last question. What do you think the biggest challenge is going to be for you in the initial primary?
Well, I think we've got to get the word out. So I guess you might say name identification would be, a challenge, no question about it.
How are you going to overcome that? Do you have any ideas?
Well, we have a media campaign. We've assembled 17 task forces. We're going all over the state of California. We're probably the hardest working candidate.
Well, listen, thank you so much, sir. But one last question I forgot, and that is, what about endorsements? Who are you looking for key endorsements in your campaign?
Well, we've got some key endorsements already, and the endorsements really continue to come in at a rate that is so gratifying to me personally. So thank you very much.
Thank you,
it's very
sir.
nice to have met you.
Thank you. We're here with prospective candidate for governor, Nick Jessen. Nick, you're sort of behind the ball here. You've got Mayor Reardon coming in, and Bill Jones and Bill Simon. And how did you feel about your whole performance tonight?
I think I got a message across. I've always stuck with my issues. From the very beginning, I feel like the other candidates really don't discuss their issues. But from day one, I've talked about the same issues, even when I'm asked not to speak, on certain issues such as pro-life. So wherever I go, people are going to know, what I stand for before they elect me. And as I told many people, I'm coming in like a stealth fighter, very quietly, very fast, very quick.
Let me ask you a question about immigration. What would be your first corrective action as governor?
The very first thing is we start moving the illegals out of here. And at the same time, we would close the borders down, tighter than a drum.
But can you cut it down to 2 or 3 that you could think of that would be the major way to cut cost in this day and age?
Well, you eliminate the federal government out of here, then you eliminate a huge, amount of money that's coming out of the taxpayers.
Can you clarify that? What you mean by the federal government?
Just let the state be a sovereign state and run by private entities themselves. Take all this the things that are run by the government, the federal government, away from them. And also expose the 30,000 checks that they're writing per month to phantom employees.
And let's go back to that energy crisis that we're experiencing right now. What about the derivative market that the actual power companies can buy into themselves? What would you do to curb that?
If it's controlled by private companies and the government's not involved, and we start building up more power supplies, and more even nuclear, power plants, also more dams to create the energy, and I think we will have less problems than what we're having today. I think there's still generators out there that are probably not being used that could be used.
Let me ask you about the other 3 candidates. If you had to have a running mate for lieutenant governor, which one of the 3 would you choose?
No. None of them.
Not one?
Not one of them.
So who is your lieutenant governor choice?
Well, we try to get another Christian to run, but because like most people, they're afraid if they don't have 10, 20, $30 million to run, they're scared off. But the gentleman that we had talked into in the beginning was Tom Cavus, out of California here.
So now you have some very strong positions on homosexuality, on school prayer, and on also let me see. There was one other thing that you felt extremely strong about, and that's the Second Amendment. So of those three, which one do you think is going to carry the most weight with your voters?
I would hope all three of them. They're very important. You know, the entire Constitution is important to the freedom of not only the people in California, but for the entire United States. But I hope people look at all, of the issues and they combine them, because there's not one that I would say is more important than the other. They all need to be implemented.
Tomorrow you're governor, sir. What would you do to assist the federal government in protecting us from terrorists in California?
Well, I wouldn't have the federal government here to begin with. I'd eliminate the United Nations that's already here at Cap Pendleton, which is customizing us into believing it's our right to have, communism in this country. So we would immediately start developing our own militia as the Constitution allows us.
Thank you so much for your time, Nick Jessen, Governor candidate for the state of California. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Larry Gilbert, you put together the CRA function tonight. Had a tremendous turnout. How about looking at it from hindsight now and tell me what you think?
Well, I think if we had been able to predict the kind of on-site registration we have, we probably would have had 300-400 people in the room. But it was a packed house. We had to turn some people away at the door. And it was a great moment where we had three of the candidates ready, willing, and able to debate. Unfortunately, Dick Reardon is hiding from us because he really isn't up to speed. And I would expect that somebody running for governor, once you file, you should be ready to sit down and debate the other people in the race to show what you know, you don't know about major issues that affect this state.
Well, let's talk about the people that were here. Do you think there was any definitive winner out of the three that did show up?
Well, I would say that each of them has their fan clubs, if you would. We'll know tomorrow when we take our voting, as well as the constitutional offices, not just governor. So all statewide offices will be voted on tomorrow. We will have our ballots, and at the end of the day, call me back and I'll let you know who the winners were. I want to thank you for covering this event on our behalf, and I look forward to seeing it on the cutting edge.
Thank you, Larry Gilbert, CRA. November 17th, 2001 was the kickoff to the California gubernatorial race for governor of the state of California. The lead runner, Mayor
LA Mayor Reardon.
Yeah, LA Mayor.
Richard Reardon.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right, let me think this out here. Okay. November 17th, 2001 was the kickoff to the
Don't be putting too much serious stuff.
No.
We're here at the Atrium Hotel in whatever city.
Yeah.
On location for the...
November 17th, 2001 was the kickoff for the California race for governor in the state of...
No, not November 17th. We're here.
Yeah.
It's November 17th.
Yeah.
It's the kickoff campaign or debate for the gubernatorial California race.
Yeah.
And everyone is here except for Richard Reardon.
Cute. Okay. All right. So here it is. November 7th. Yeah.
Just use mine. I just said it.
At the Atrium Hotel in Irvine, California, was the kickoff for the 2002.